Frames and framing. So Irving Goffman did some of the first research on linguistic framing. He did that research within the context primarily of institutions, hospitals in particular. So he found that frames include semantic roles, relations between roles, and relations to other frames. So a hospital frame, for example, includes the roles of doctor, nurse, patient, visitor, receptionist, and so on. But frames are found not just within the context of institutions, but literally everywhere. According to George Lakoff, frames are mental structures that shape the way we see the world. We think of frames as the collection of associations that are triggered or activated in our brains when we hear or see a word or phrase. We could say that frames are the connections we make between words and established associated images, ideas, words, memories. These connections are not an abstraction. They exist physically within the neural circuits of the brain, so they're very real. They are stronger the more they are activated. So for a moment, let's talk about Christmas. The majority of Canadians celebrate Christmas, either from a religious perspective as part of the Christian practice or as a secular practice. So these images here might be familiar to you. There's Santa Claus on the left, and he's in a wreath. Some of us hang wreaths on doors at Christmas. In the other photo, we have a Christmas tree, lots of bright lights, which again, we associate bright lights with Christmas. And there's presents under the tree. We often associate Christmas with gift giving and celebration and family and all those great things. So many Canadians share these types of frames. Things like Santa and maybe shopping and decorating trees and getting together with families and having a big celebration. And by and large, for the majority, Christmas is a positive experience. Now, the thing with frames is within a particular group, within a particular culture, within a particular family, there are often common frames. And then there might be frames that are held by a certain segment of the population or by various portions of a population that might be outside of the majority or might be quite common but maybe aren't the majority, and so on. So some frames are shared and other frames might be more specific to a particular smaller population. So some people don't like Christmas. Either they feel ambiguous towards it because they just don't celebrate it and they don't care. But some people actually have strong negative feelings towards Christmas, whether that's because they've experienced something bad at Christmas time, or perhaps they have had really important and meaningful Christmases in the past, but perhaps loved ones have passed away or they're not able to celebrate Christmas as they have in the past. And so Christmas can be a very depressing and anxiety provoking or stressful time of year for some people. So these are all sorts of different types of interpretations. So I might have frames about in my mind about celebrating Christmas. If someone says the word Christmas, I might immediately think about decorating the tree. I might think about buying presents or wrapping presents. Now these frames might be slightly different if I am a practicing Christian. I might think of something more along the lines of the nativity associated with Christmas. And this might be an image that's quite treasured for me. So if I'm Christian, I might have this additional set of frames. Maybe I also have the frames of the more average Canadian, but I might have these additional frames as well. So I've come up with a couple of little lists here. On the left, you'll see the more secular frames: presents, family, turkey or tofurkey, snowmen, Santa Claus, decorating the tree, lights, shopping, traveling, holidays, Christmas carols. These are all frames or associated frames that we might think of when we think about the term Christmas or when we see a Christmas-like image. These might be general ideas, or they might be specific ideas to our specific experiences, but very common frames. In the second column on the right, we have the more Christian frame. So if I'm a practicing Christian, I might think of Christmas more as the birth of Jesus or the birth of Christ. I might think of Christmas as a holy night. I might celebrate Mass if I'm Catholic, or I might think about going to church in preparation for Christmas. I might know this phrase, keep Christ in Christmas. It might be something that I say to my friends. I might think about the three wise men, the star, the manger, the creche, the nativity, Bethlehem. These all are more likely frames that I will be thinking about, or ideas, concepts in my mind if I'm a practicing Christian. So frames are largely unconscious. So if I say the word Christmas, immediately these ideas and thoughts and images spring to my mind. I'm not planning them. They just come to me, and I might not even be thinking of them in terms of frames or thinking, that they're particularly meaningful. They might just pop into my head. So they are largely unconscious. They're not things that I think of, hey, I'm going to think of some frames about Christmas. The other interesting thing about frames is that if I say something like, don't think about Christmas, it's probably going to be hard for you to actively not think about Christmas. When I say, don't think about Christmas, you'll probably think about Christmas. So this is important to the understanding of frames. Negating a frame tends to just activate that frame. So the example that Lakoff uses in the article is the Richard Nixon reference. When Nixon said, "I am not a crook," everyone thought he was a crook. It's like if I say, "I didn't lie," then people might tend to think, well, did she lie? I wonder if she lied. And all of a sudden that idea is in people's heads. Now, it's not that we can't negate frames, but it's a little bit harder than just saying, you must not think about that thing. I don't want you to think about that thing anymore. That's wrong to think about that thing. You can't really do that. You have to be more strategic than that.